this song wasn't written about the life of a musician, but every time I hear this song, I think that sounds like it was written about the life of a musician. Up where the smoke is all billowed and curled, between pavement and stars lies the chimney sweep's world, where there's hardly no day and there's hardly no night, just things half in shadows and halfways in light. On the rooftops of Waxahachie. Normally everybody cheers when I say the name of the town that we're in. Now hang on. Too late to pretend you thought of that yourselves. We'll get a running start, we'll do it again. On the rooftops of Waxahachie, Texas. That was so sincere. What a sight. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chimchery. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chimcheroo. Good luck will rub off when I shake hands with you, or blow me a kiss, 'cause that's lucky too. Now that the ladder of life has been strung, you might think a sweep's on the bottommost rung. Though I spend my time in the ashes and smoke, in this so wide world there's no happier bloke. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chimchery. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company, 'cause nowhere is there a more happier crew than them what sings chim chimchery, chimcheroo. Chimney, chim chimney, chim chimchery. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them what sings chim chimchery, chimcheroo. Chim chimney, chim chim cheree, chimcheroo. You. You know, they just gave Dick Van Dyke, God bless him, just got that Kennedy Center Award a couple of weeks ago, and he's got to be like 95. I mean, he's still. I follow him on Instagram. Do yourself a favor and follow Dick Van Dyke on Instagram. I just remember Christmas morning, he had a post that was him. Again, he's literally like 95, 94, 95, and he's sitting on the floor in his pajamas in front of the Christmas tree, and he's got this big present, and he opens it up, and it's a Red Ryder BB gun, and he just starts going, pow, pow. Oh, man. He's my spirit animal, Dick Van Dyke. I threw away your picture, staring at me from the wall. I took the letters that you wrote and made paper airplanes of them all, and might I say, it seemed quite appropriate that they didn't even fly. I may never get over you, but the least I can do is try. I threw the mixed CD you made me out the window of my car, and I'd sell all those little presents you bought me if you just show me where they all are, but that's okay. I don't need them. I gotta learn to let go and say goodbye. I may never get over you, but the least I can do is try. Will you tell me that you love me, then you turn right around and cheat? Baby, that's a combination that's gonna be really tough to beat. But hey, there's other fish in the sea, and we got the best bait that money can buy, 'cause I do a killer impression of John Mayer. Ladies, I may never get over you, but the least I can do is try. See, a guitar solo is kind of like taking a nap. You might plan on a short one, but if you're really feeling it, you got to keep going, you know? Well, I went through a box of chocolates, and I went through a box of tissues. But baby, now I'm canceling my subscription, 'cause I am tired of receiving your issues. Save it, do it big at the end. But I can guarantee that if you were there for me, to care for me and share what we would dare to see, unfair to me, but agree with me, and even plead with me for gracious grant a second chance, it all remains to secretly to be with me. But by new decree, I'm freely now to have the wise of my own to see for me. You are all I ever wanted, but you done free to me. I gave you everything I have, and you still mistreated me. But when you flee to me and plead for me to be the one to listen to you cry, saying, Jacob, oh, I love you till the day I die, then I'll say, shut that filthy mouth, woman, before you tell me another lie. Because I may never get over you. But the least I can do is try. 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 There you go. Thank you. Let's see. Here, how's the baby doing? Yeah. You've never seen a 14-year-old blind dog with more energy than Miss Lola right here. Well, I don't know if she's going to get another song because, you know, we've already done that. How about maybe a little sort of lullaby? Maybe that'll help. Maybe I'm getting her too wound up.
It's all for Lola.
Yeah. You must have pets. Our little fur babies. And then we see people with kids, and we're like, oh, you've got a little skin pet. Oh, it's so sweet. Well, here's a song I wrote about a really beautiful part of North Carolina over by the coast called the Pamlico Sound. And the Pamlico Sound is the body of water that's between the coast of North Carolina and the islands they call the Outer Banks. It's really pretty out there, but it's not, it hasn't grown up too much yet. It's still kind of a nice place to visit and relax. If you've never been out to that part of the country, you should go check it out. It's a long way from here, but it's a long way from where I live. I think it's about as far as a place could be from where I live and still be in, like, North Carolina, just across the... We're just kind of south of Asheville in South Carolina. So this is called, Spartanburg's not far off. Yeah, you know Spartanburg? Oh, really? Well, those Marshall Tucker Band boy, that's the pride and joy of Spartanburg. And Aaron Tippin. Aaron Tippin's from Spartanburg. Who else? Pink Anderson, who's one of the old bluesmen that influenced the band Pink Floyd. They took their name from his name. He's from Spartanburg. I'm not from Spartanburg, but...
You know the history.
Yeah, Hank Garland, one of the most prolific session players of like the 1950s. It was pretty much him and Chet doing all this country sessions in Nashville in the 50s. He was from Spartanburg. But I'm from Greenville. Actually, I'm from Travelers Rest, which is a little outside of Greenville, but people don't know where that is. So, huh? Don't know. Is that a Spartanburg thing?
It's just north of Spartanburg. Right.
Okay. I got to check that out. Have you been to Hollywild?
Have not.
Mmm.
Must be a barbecue joint there.
Yeah. No, that's close. It's a zoo where they have, I guess, animals that were used in movies or something. I don't know. It's kind of, it sounds nice, but I think it has kind of a bad reputation in the area. Anyway, not to settle down, class. Settle down. What is, I'm gonna, this will be for you. This will be for you, baby. She's like, give me to daddy. Give me to daddy.
Let's just let it go through the stage.
Terrible idea. She'll get a hold of that mic.
We need to negotiate that.
Yeah. She said she was just going to do 5 minutes of crowd work, but she's still out there. So, where are you from? You from around here? Any single people in the audience? Okay, she's back. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Calm down. I'm here. I'm okay. When you get big, this won't be cute anymore, you know? I'm just imagining like doing this with a like a little baby or something.
They won't lick you, though.
They won't lick you. But then I'm imagining trying to do it with like an 8-year-old or something, and like, okay, you gotta just learn to deal with this now, kid. Okay, I'm gonna give you back to Mama now. Who you love, who's been with you the whole ride since you were a little puppy. Teenagers, you know. So all that to say, this song is called the Pamlico Sound. The Pamlico Sound. The stars are her covers, and the ocean's her lover. But she knows that he gets around. The breeze heaves a sigh like a salty lullaby, and she falls asleep to the Pamlico Sound. They've been calling for showers for 3 or 4 hours, but there ain't been a drop hit the ground. The Atlantic's just right on this Saturday night as she falls asleep to the Pamlico Sound. Well, her line's in the water like her old grandpa taught her, and her pole's by her side on the ground. And she'll sit there till it's night, just watching them bite. But she throws them back in the Pamlico Sound. Like the waves and the foam, she follows the tide, 'cause she knows it'll bring her back home. The roads that she'll travel are steep and paved with gravel, but she left her problems in town. She holds time in her hands, and as rain hits the sand, she falls asleep to the Pamlico Sound. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, man, it's hard to say. It's more of a like path. So I started with your Texas icon, Willie Nelson, was my first concert when I was about 12 years old. And of course, at a Willie concert, you're also getting like, he's doing, Chris Christopherson, but he's also doing like, Stardust and Georgia, old like American songbook stuff. He loves Django Reinhardt, so I found like Django Reinhardt, the great gypsy jazz guitar player, through Willie when I was 12. So then I was the weird 12-year-old that was checking Django tapes out of the library. Yeah. And then when I was a teenager, yeah. And he's done most of it too. And then when I was in high school, I kind of started going down like the electric blues direction, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix and Clapton. And then probably the time I was 17 or 18, I started getting into like, Victor Wooten and Bela Fleck and some of that kind of stuff. And Phil Kagi, Michael Hedges, great guitar players, who started going kind of down that weird rabbit hole of like alternate tunings and extended techniques and two-hand stuff. So, no, I should back up for a second, because my grandma, my mom Johnson, she taught me the first 3 chords that I ever learned when I was about 12. And she sang and played in pickup bands. When country acts would tour, they would just hire bands in whatever town they were in, because it was more affordable than hauling a trailer around with you full of guys. So she got to play with Ernest Tubb and Hank Snow and some people like that. And she taught me C, F, and G. And then I just, didn't do anything but play guitar for about 8 years. So when I started getting into some of this weird, like, progressive acoustic guitar playing with alternate tunings and tapping and all that stuff, I thought, I need to show her some of the stuff I've been working on. And she'll think this is so cool, and she'll it's gonna blow her mind that from these 3 chords that she taught me, like I'm doing all this just crazy stuff all over. So I played her this song that had like all that stuff, all the notes and all the techniques, and I thought, yeah, this is gonna blow her mind. And afterwards she said, Jacob, that was good, but you gotta look up. You're looking at the guitar to me, you gotta look up and you gotta smile. You gotta look at the people, son. Showmanship. So that's the most important thing I learned from her. Here's a song I've been playing a little bit over the last, I don't know, maybe year or two. It's been one of my favorite songs for a long time, but I thought I would put together kind of my own little version of it and stick in some other fancy things in here also. This is a song about, this is a catchy pop song that is about catchy pop songs that aren't about anything. Good guess.
Started with Tutti Frutti.
So the idea is that if lyrics are somewhat meaningless or vapid or just it's all just hey heys and babies and doobie doos, none of that matters as long as the song has what we in my business call the hook. Right? That's the thing that gets stuck in your head. This is the hook of the song. So, and that's the name of this song. And believe it or not, this was a pretty big hit on the radio about like 25 years or so ago. And you might have heard it, and maybe you didn't know what it was about, but that's what it's about. And this song has an easy part and a hard part, and I'll tell you which is which as I go along. It doesn't matter what I say, as long as I sing with inflection. that makes you feel that I'll convey some inner truth or vast reflection. But I've said nothing so far, and I can keep it up for as long as it takes. And it don't matter who you are. If I'm doing my job, it's your resolve that breaks, because the hook brings you back. I ain't telling you no lie. The hook brings you back. On that you can rely. There is something amiss. I am being insincere. In fact, I don't mean any of this, but still my confession draws you near. To confuse the issue, I'll refer to familiar heroes from long ago. No matter how much Peter loved her, what made the pan refuse to grow was that the hook brings you back. I ain't telling you no lie. The hook brings you back. On that you can rely. All right, here's the easy part. That was the easy part. Here's the hard part. Building suspense. Suck it in, suck it in, suck it in if you're in Tintin rambling. Make a desperate move or else you win, and then begin to see what you're doing to me. This MTV is not for free, it's OPC, it's killing me. So desperately I'll sing to thee of love, sure, but also rage and hate and pain and fear of self. But I cannot keep these feelings on the shelf. I've tried, well no, in fact I lied, and it might be financial suicide, but I got too much pride inside to hide or slide. I'll lose, I'll decide and let it ride until I've died, and only then shall I abide this tide of catchy little tunes, of hit 3-minute ditties. I wanna bust all your balloons, I wanna burn all of your cities to the ground. I found I will not mess around unless I play. Then hey, I will go on all day, hear what I say. I have a prayer to pray, that's really all this was. If I'm feeling stuck and need a buck, I don't rely on luck, because the hook brings you back. I'm telling you, no lie, the hook brings you back. Oh, that you can rely. Good night to the waitress and the regular crowd. Good night to the band that's playing too loud. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. Y'all could sing that part. Good night to the ladies. Good night to the gents. Good night, you go-getters that got up and went. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. There you go. Good night to the gypsies, the weary, the worried. Good night to the tipsy, the drowsy, the blurry. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. Good night to the cowboys and the rodeo clowns, to the salt of the earth and the dust of the ground. Good night. Good night, good night to you all. Good night. Good night, you street preacher reading from King James Dean. Good night, all you pushers and alleyway queens. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. Good night to the voice of a lost generation, singing for tips in a dark railway station. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. Good night, you ambitious, too big for this town. Come back when you're ready to lay some roots down. Good night to the hustlers, to the wise guys and thieves. Good night, all you skeptics and those who believe. Good night to the late crowd. Good night, early risers. Good night, all you poets. Good night, plagiarizers. Good night to the faithful. Good night to the few. Good night, all your lovers and the ones that love you. Good night, good night, good night to you all. Good night. Good night, good night, good to you all. Good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
half of you getting your stuff and getting ready to walk out, then
We're in it to win it.
okay.
Well, play while we walk out.
Oh, been there, done that, brother.
That there's a song or two about it.
Yeah. You know what I could do? I thought about just, man, I could just go around the wall and just, you know, like, man, this. I mean, you know who that guy is? Roger Miller. Man, that's my guy right there. You don't hear a lot about Roger Miller anymore.
Great songwriter.
Incredible songwriter.
Let's write it the last song.
England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2 by 2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben. The rosy red cheeks of the little children. Now if you huff and puff and you finally save enough money, have to take your family on a trip across the sea. Well, take a tip before you take your trip. Let me tell you where to go. Go to England. Oh, England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2 by 2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben. The rosy red cheeks of the little children. Mom's old pajamas and your papa's mustache, falling out the windowsill, frolic in the grass, trying to mock the way they talk fun, but all in vain. Gaping at the dapper men and derby hats and canes. Oh, England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2 by 2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben. The rosy red cheeks of the little children. Oh, England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2 by 2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben. The rosy red cheeks of the little children. Man, he was just. Where's Johnny? I know he's up here somewhere.
Pick another artist.
Yeah, do it again.
Just pick one.
Yeah.
He's over there somewhere. He's behind you.
One more Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh.
No, he's right beside Dolly. He's under Buddy, right beside Dolly.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
There he is, right behind you. I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up that clear blue sky. And the tears I cry for that woman, they're gonna flood you, big river. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it tore me up every time I heard that drawl, southern drawl. I heard my dream, went back downstream, cavorting in Davenport. But I will follow you, big river, when you call. Now won't you batten down by Baton Rouge, River Queen, roll it on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. We'll go on, I've had enough, you can dump my blues way down in the Gulf. Cause she loves you, big river, more than me.
Now won't you batten down by Baton Rouge, River Queen, roll it on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. We'll go on, I've had enough, you can dump my blues way down in the Gulf, cause she loves you, Big River, more than me. Well, now I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up that clear blue sky. And the tears I cry for that woman, they're gonna flood you, Big River. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. See if I remember all the words to this one. Must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss, a sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. It's still the same old story, the fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. I love you, everybody. Keep those cards and letters coming. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Return to your homes. Go to your